Food is one of the most essential requirements for life. Food production in the world has kept pace with the growth in population. In fact, there is more food available per person today than in the 1960s. However, millions of people die of starvation every year. This is where the issue of food security comes in. The purpose of food security is to ensure that everyone always has enough to eat. Food security depends on a number of factors. The first factor is the availability of food. The availability of food depends on food production in a country, imports, and food stocks from previous years. No amount of food production and stocks can provide food security unless it reaches the people. This accessibility to food is provided by marketing and transport networks and the public distribution system. Even if the food is readily accessible, it does not provide food security till the people have enough money to buy it. The capacity to buy food depends on the financial state of a person and the prices of food. Thus, food security exists when there is enough food available for all, the available food is accessible to all, and everybody can afford to buy sufficient food. The definition of food security has changed over time. In 1975, the United Nations defined food security as availability at all times of adequate supply of basic foodstuffs. Nobel laureate Amartya Sen from India applied the factors of accessibility and affordability to food security. Accordingly, after the World Food Summit in 1995, the Food and Agricultural Organization of the United Nations revised the definition of food security that you see here. People living in poverty suffer from lack of food security most of the time, as they cannot afford food. However, in situations of natural disasters like flood, drought, and earthquake, the problem of food security assumes larger proportions and affects a larger number of people. Natural calamities like flood and drought destroy crops and existing food stocks. This triggers a chain reaction. Destruction and a decrease in the production of food cause a decrease in the availability of food. A decrease in the availability of food causes food prices to rise. The rise in food prices decreases the affordability, and more people are unable to buy food. A natural calamity affecting a large area for a long duration of time leads to starvation and conditions of famine. A famine results in a large number of deaths due to starvation and epidemics that spread due to the forced use of contaminated food and water, and the loss of body resistance due to hunger. The worst famine in Indian history was the Bengal famine that hit the Bengal province of British India in 1943. Around 3 million people, mostly agricultural workers, fishermen, transport workers, and casual laborers, died in the Bengal famine. A shortage of rice is often cited as the reason for the Bengal famine. However, the graph here shows that though the production fell sharply in 1941 and 1943, it was not low enough to cause such widespread famine conditions. According to Dr. Amartya Sen, the real reasons for the shortage of rice were the rising demand for British soldiers fighting in the Second World War and large-scale hoarding of rice due to rumors of shortage. A rapid escalation in price and drastic cuts in incomes of people already living in poverty made rice unaffordable to millions who starved to death. In India, deaths due to starvation are often reported from Kalahandi and Kashipur in Orissa, Baran in Rajasthan, Palamu in Jharkhand, and many other remote districts. This makes food security an important concern for us.